It's a 2000 Jeep Cherokee 4-liter straight six. It's mostly stock except for a 3.5-inch lift, 31-inch tires. I changed the control arm bushings to be polyurethane ones because the old rubber ones were worn out. I also replaced the stock muffler with a glass pack. It's usually the first thing I do when I get a new car, is make it noisy. I had to fix a bunch of rust on the rocker panels and the floor and the rear lower quarter panel. I cut out and made new pieces by hand because it's just more satisfying, you know? Just making it yourself rather than buying a thing, putting it on. The front and rear bumpers are stock, but I took off the silly plastic end caps and I made ones out of metal and welded them on there. The rear looks really good. The front, I've got to build a new front bumper anyway to put a winch on it, so it doesn't matter. I don't like the front one very much. It's got a comfort roof rack and two KC 6x9 off-road lights on the roof, which to me is like, that's what a cool looking 4x4 has, like big tires, lights on the roof. It's just like you get out of it and you go into the grocery store and you got to turn around 3 or 4 times and be like, damn, that thing looks pretty good. I've had it for 6 years. It's been my daily driver the whole time. It's relatively practical. Gets alright gas mileage. I can go about 500 kilometers on a tank. I can get better gas mileage if I put smaller tires on it, but that's no fun. So it looks silly with small tires on it. Somebody told me once that if you're gonna have a vehicle like that and like your hobby is gonna be cars, that you should be wrenching on your car yourself. It gives you this knowledge of what you're doing or like what's going on with it. So when you hear it start making a funny noise and you think to yourself, oh, I should replace the power steering pump, and then you don't, and that's when it will break down. So the way I see it is if it breaks down, it's my fault, it's not the car's fault, because I should have known that that component was bad. It's called the Green Bastard because when I was in college there was a bunch of us convoying somewhere and we had these little 2-meter radios and we all had call signs, and mine ended up being Green Bastard. And ever since then that's just what I've referred to the vehicle as. And I even made a little emblem on the front that looks like the tape on the Green Bastard's uniform. 90% of the time, I'm just driving it like you would any other car, driving to work, sitting in traffic, driving on the highway, but sometimes. It's not the best off-road, but there isn't much that it won't do. Like even if I go looking to get it stuck somewhere, like that's what's fun to me, is like that's the point. You go out and you try and get it stuck because you're trying to see what it will and what it won't do. And it's good, like the lift is just high enough to where it's got good ground clearance. It's not so high that it's a pain to live with every day. Like you don't have to jump to get in it. You know how there's always that one guy who's telling a story about a car he used to have, and then he pauses and thinks for a second and he goes, that was a good car. I shouldn't have sold that. I don't want to be that guy. And plus, I like the Cherokee. So if I was to sell it, I would just want to buy another one. And they don't make it anymore. I guess I'll just keep it and keep it working for as long as possible. Something breaks, I'll fix it. I've got all these plans of things that I want to do to it in the future, so let's see how long it goes for.